Alrighty, I am back. Welcome to day 2 of posting 3 videos a day for 2 weeks, for 13 days. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to frame myself. Okay, I'm also looking, I think this is the camera. Yeah, that's the camera. I thought I had an idea of what I was going to talk about today, and then I completely forgot as soon as I turned on the camera. But I'm in the gym parking lot right now. I think I'm gonna get into the routine of just filming in my car in the parking lot. I kind of like the vibe of this. But yeah, what did I want to talk about today? I mean, it's day 2. I've written my 6th script out of 40. And honestly, this morning was already a struggle. I wasn't expecting day 2 to already be a battle, but here we are. I wrote 2 out of the 3 scripts, and then as soon as I started writing the 3rd one, I was just stuck. Complete writer's block. I had the hook or the idea, and I didn't have anything to put on the page. And so I took a break. I scrolled for a bit for inspiration. I walked around the house, and then I talked to Claude for 20 minutes just with the dictation feature, just to get my thoughts out. And I realized that my inspiration system needs to be really good for me to produce quality content, because if I'm just consuming brain rot and studying reels, but I don't have my own unique source material, I think the real source of my value is the quality of ideas that I share. And so, as smart and brilliant as I am, I don't really come up with that many original ideas on an everyday basis, certainly not 3. And so if I'm gonna make 40 quality videos and improve my process, I really need a good inflow of ideas. I really need quality inputs. And so that's something that I want to focus on for the next 2 weeks. Is this challenge, this sprint is going to force me to really be intentional about what I consume, and yeah, having a strong direction and also a strong source of topics to draw from. Because the other thing I realized is, as much as a lot of these gurus, especially my favorite creators, talk about you are the niche, become the niche, become a niche of one, all these people started with a topic, with a traditional niche that grew their audience, grew momentum, and gave them expertise to work off of. And it was after they'd established this authority in a specific narrow field that they were able to sort of branch out and talk about other things. But if you start with the buffet of just a little bit of everything, it might be fun, but there's 2 problems with it. One is that people don't trust you because you are claiming to be an expert in everything, or at least talking about everything. And it's a bit disjointed because you haven't found your voice yet either. So you're experimenting with styles, you're experimenting with topics, and it's all over the place, and you don't build momentum. Because the people who watch one video might have no interest in the next one you post. And so you don't build that core audience, core following. But the second problem is more of a creative problem, which is that when you have no constraints, it's actually really hard to create. I personally believe that creativity thrives under constraints. If you think of writer's block, or if you think of any creative block or artists struggle to create, it's usually because they're faced with an infinity of options. Creativity seems to be this thing where you can do anything, but when you have too many options, it kind of sucks, right? The blank canvas is the hardest canvas to work with, versus if you already have something to sort of work off of, remix, spin off of, branch off of, then there's an opportunity to express your creativity in that that addition or that modification. And especially when you're starting out, there's no sense of vision, or there isn't the same sense of vision that a more experienced artist would have. You don't have a voice to work off of. You don't have a body of work to expand on. And so you have to work off of other people, because otherwise, I think a lot of beginner artists and creators try too much to be original, but without quality sources of inspiration, originality, the attempt to be original just ends up being garbage. It ends up not being quality, And then it also, like, you can't really escape the influence from other things and other fields. And so I've found that even the most visionary artists, the most creative people, the most original, authentic people started by copying something or stealing a model that they liked and building off of that. And then over time, as you collect different sources of inspiration, different models, and different ways of doing things, that's when you develop your own personal voice. That's when you develop your uniqueness and that innovation. And so it's just a reminder to myself that, that how important it is to have these quality sources of information. And yeah, to not try too hard to be original when I'm starting out, because I'm still learning like very basic things. I'm still learning how to speak well. I'm still learning how to write hooks, and capture and keep attention. And so, by narrowing down, for me, I want to narrow down to a format, which is talking head, the very simple, easily executable, sort of like this style. And then also narrowing down a topic, which I'm still tweaking and figuring out, but I think generally it's going to be around philosophy, mental health, and self-improvement. And so obviously, like, those are sort of overlapping topics, but I want to make it like more focused so that people who watch my content are going to be interested in the other videos that I make, instead of it just being random hits here and there. In other words, I want to build momentum. Excuse me. So that's sort of all I wanted to share for today. That's sort of the main lesson that I had from my writing scripts today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to get to filming my short videos for today. Peace.